Bob Knief, sorry, Bob. Rush Limbaugh has certainly been pushing your and my argument that conservative is a terrible marketing term and has stopped using it on his show. The parallels are pretty strong. Have you been in touch with him? I have not. What term could you or should you be used, should or use instead of conservative? I kind of agree with Rush. I feel the same way about capitalists, but sometimes things are just dug too deep. I think, yeah, Steve Darrow says individualist. That's actually a very, 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 very good definition. That's what I would do. If I could change the language, I would shift it from conservative and liberal to collectivist and individualist, because that's the true definition. That's the one that hasn't changed. That's the one that goes back 3,000 years, is collectivist or individualist. And the individualists are only been around for 250 years. So that's definitely what I would do. And I think that's really, really an important point. But the question is, at what point do you, I'm just looking at a thumbnail on BillWhittle.com, and this picture I had up. These pictures are turning. The color is just terrible. I mean, I did one of these things with the guy from the Four Freedoms, Norman Rockwell thing, and he looks like he's got the plague. Let me see. I'm just trying to find. And I think at this point I would like to go home, if you don't mind. I would really. I just want to go home. I want to see my beautiful wife, who's apparently watching this. I'm away, honey. And I think that'll do it for this edition of the Stratosphere Lounge. It started a little late, but we leapt right into the questions. And this whole business about the culture war and canon and all that stuff is actually very important stuff. Rubber City says group cruises can be done with far fewer. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to find out. Scott Ott just posted a comment for those of you watching on YouTube. He says, queue up here to ask Scott what it's like to work with Bill and Steve. Scott will also tell you that the number one question he gets is, what's it like working with Bill Whittle? And it's very touching, because I've seen a few of these. I was kind of lurking in the background once or twice, and somebody come up to Scott and ask him what it's like working with me, and you can see Scott get a little teary-eyed and a little quiver in the lip, kind of thing. And then just all this talk about, it's just, I don't even need to get into the whole thing. Voice of a generation kind of nonsense, and it's a, personal gift from God, and it's just embarrassing for me to repeat it, but it was, that kind of stuff in a general way. The greatest man who ever lived. I remember hearing that repeatedly, and of course that's just silly, but that's what I heard, and a couple of others. I don't really remember. It's I don't really like to talk about it, so I guess we'll let that go. All right. I think that'll do it. I'm going to wrap this baby up. I'm going to put this baby to bed. That's what I'm going to do. So that will do it for this edition of the Stratosphere Lounge, made possible along with the every 4-year vacation trip to Cancun. Last time I was away from vacation was 2015 when I went to Oshkosh. All of this stuff is made possible by the members at BillWhittle.com, the paying members at BillWhittle.com. They make this happen. And I do remember, I don't know if we talked about this before, but just in closing, I do remember when the Apollo What We Saw series came out. A lot of people complained about the commercials. And I remember thinking, that's how you pay for a show. That's what we don't have commercials because we have members. And by the way, I'll just throw this out. If anybody would like to advertise on any of our programs and get the same kind of treatment that Stamps.com got from yours truly, we would be delighted to have you. You can contact us at info@billwhittle.com. and I will tell you in advance that I heartily endorse this product or service. That was that Troy McClure? I'm pretty sure it was Troy McClure. No, it was Krusty. It was Krusty. I heartily endorse this product or service. Anyway, that'll do it. So I'm going to wrap this baby up, going to upload it, and we'll get on with business. And our numbers are way up on views on both Bill Whittle Now and Right Angle. Way up. They're double. So that's very good news. And I actually had some thought. I'd never talked to Scott about this. He's going to find out now. I think it'd be an interesting thing to discuss. I really have given some serious thought to setting up a pop culture channel. It has nothing to do with me politically, nothing. I just see these cat videos getting 40 million views, and I think about what those revenues must be, and I thought to myself, I can edit cat videos. I can do that, and I can do top 10 lists too. Something to think about. But we're not going to worry about that right now. We have enough work to do, and I've got big series coming up, so I'm working on that as well. All right. Thank you very much for joining us, baby. I'm on my way, and that'll do it for this edition of the Stratosphere Lounge, made possible by the members at BillWhittle.com. I'm your host, Bill Whittle, and we will see you next week right here on the Stratosphere Lounge.